Hello everyone, this is Janet Winkle from A Stamp in Every Hand. I'd like to tell you a little bit about a technique that I had a request for this week on Facebook, and it's the Brayer technique. Several years back I did a DVD which is called Stampcapes, Brayers, and Beyond. That DVD is available at my website, which is astampineveryhand.com. I would like for you to, while you're thinking about it, subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get 1,000 viewers or 1,000 subscribers in the next 12 months and 4,000 views on my videos. So if you'd be kind enough to subscribe to my channel, I will try to give you as much content as I possibly can over the next 12 months. Let's get started on this. This is a Speedball soft rubber 4-inch brayer. You want to store it on the handle. If you don't store it that way, if you store it with the brayer roller down, you're going to get what we call a flat tire, and that's going to show up in your brayering when you run it across your card. This is what we're going to do today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in a moment, but first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at some examples. This is one I did several years ago. It's kind of faded. It will fade over time. The ink will on the paper that we're using. You can seal it. I don't seal it. I don't go that far to seal the cards because they last for a long time. You have to expose them to a lot of light before they really get really light and the color is really distorted. This one was made with the same Kaleidocolor pad as we're going to use today, which is the Blue Breeze. These pads come in 23 different colors, but this is the one we're going to use today. On this one I used the Caribbean Sea, and as you can see, all these were done with Stampcapes stamps. That's how I learned this technique, was doing with Stampcapes stamps. I've not really done a lot of brayering with other techniques. I know a lot of people brayer different colors and shades for skies, for cards that they're doing for skies, so you can do that too as well. This one was done with Desert Heat. That makes a great beach scene or something like that. You can also do fall cards with the Desert Heat, but it comes in a lot of different colors. Like I said, 23 different colors those come in. So there's some examples of what I've done with the brayered cards, and we're going to use Chrome Coat. This piece of paper is 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and Chrome Coat, spelled with a K, Kromkote. Either 10 point or 12 point. 12 point is better, but 10 point you can use that too. No, you don't want to use photo paper. That's not what it was meant for. It wasn't meant for crafting. So you really want to make sure that you get a good craft cardstock glossy paper, and the one I recommend is Chrome Coat. The brayer is 4 inches wide, and as you can see, if I have them separated, it will cover the brayer. But if I close them up, it won't. So what we're going to do is we're going to load the color until we start to see the lines on the brayer. You see those lines on? There we go. You see the lines on the brayer. Now I'm going to start moving it slightly back and forth. You always want to roll in one direction. You don't want to go back and forth when you're loading the brayer. So I just want to make sure I've got most of those lines covered and smoothed out there. I'll cover that up because I've already got ink on my hands. Okay, so I'm going to start on the edge of my paper and roll it across. And I'm just going to keep rolling and blending till I get the color that I want. And then I'm going to just smooth it out a little bit by rolling back and forth. Now once I've got my color on there and I'm happy with that, I'm going to heat set. So my heat gun is already warmed up because I have been using it, but you want to let your heat gun warm up about 30 seconds before you go to your project. That allows it to dry more evenly. Try not to hold it too long in one place because it's going to lighten the color up. It's naturally going to lighten it up. But you don't want to burn your paper. That's think that's good. So I'm going to just, if you're worried that it's not completely dry, turn it over on your work surface and make sure that you got all the ink off of it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the stamps we're going to use. These are all Stampscape stamps. Like I said, that's what I normally work with when I'm doing the Brayer technique. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about those, and I'll list them down below the video. I'll list all the stamps that I'm using. So the Snowy Covered Bridge 357F, that's going to be our focal point. Then the Snowy Creek 359G. Then the Snowy Bank 360G. Then we're going to use the Crooked Limb 097E. And we're going to use the Large Buck 009B. On my buck, I did trim. I trimmed this grassy area off of mine. No, I don't do it on all of mine, but I was doing a lot of cards, and it was just bugging me that I was having to stop and clean that off. So I just went ahead and trimmed it off, so I didn't have to keep going back and trimming that and removing the ink from that area. So I trimmed it, just cut it with a pair of Tim Holtz tonic scissors, and that's how I got that. That way, I mean, you don't have to do that. You can always clean it off. So we're going to stamp this up here. And like I said, we're going to start with the covered bridge. We're also going to stamp with, this is the ink I prefer, Memories Dye Ink Pad by Stewart. It's a richer ink. It's how do I want to describe this? I have tried Memento. Everybody says, why can't you use Memento? Well, Memento looks kind of chalky on this paper. I don't know why, but it does. This has more of a shine to it. Archival Black by Ranger. That would be my second choice. My third choice would be Marvy Black ink. That's what I started with years ago, and then I discovered Memories, and I have not really gone back to anything else. I really like this the best. And I've been doing this for about 20 years, I guess. Stampscapes I've been doing about 20 years, somewhere along there. I've been stamping for about 22, 23 years, maybe 24. Don't know at this point. Okay, so as you can see, I like to pat the ink onto my stamp. I like to see where it's going. And I'm going to have to stand up because I cannot stamp sitting down. Just don't do a very good job at it. So I'm going to run a little bit off the side and all the way up to the top. This is your focal point. I always like to, if I can, I want to get that in there first and then build my scene around it. Okay, that's good. All right, so we're going to just add a little bit over here on the side. And I'm just going to drop that in there just to kind of continue that on a little bit, to fill in that area. Okay. Now I'm going to put this Snowy Bank down here at the bottom. I'm going to take a little bit of ink off of the top here because I kind of want those snow drifts to not be so visible and take away so much from the top of my road there. So I'm just going to take some ink off of that. I'm going to drop that in there. Okay, then my buck that I've trimmed the grass off of. And we're going to put him in there. And then we're going to add a little bit of the crooked limbs up at the top. Okay. And Then the next thing you do is heat set that. Get that all ready to go. And you have a really quick finished card. Now you could add some things to it if you like. I'm going to get one that's a little drier here so I don't take all the time to dry that one up. If you would like, you could take a white gel pen. You could add a little bit of snow to these limbs up here to make this pop a little more. That's totally up to you. I like to use the Signo, a Uniball Signo white gel pen, and that kind of makes those trees pop out, those crooked limbs pop out a little bit more up there at the top. And you could also add some down here in the grass and wherever, just to make it pop out a little bit more. But this is a fast, easy way to do a Stampcapes card. This is how I learned. This was the first technique I learned. This is what made me fall in love with this stamp line, and why it's been a big part of my stamping experience over the years. I'd like to invite you to go to my Facebook page and like and follow my Facebook page, which is stampingeveryhand.com, and visit my website. I do teach classes. I will be teaching classes coming up in the future. I haven't got anything posted right now, but that will be coming up. That'll also be on my Facebook page too. And I'd like to please ask you again to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I hope you've enjoyed this little video about the Brayer technique and working with the wonderful Stampcapes stamps. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.